say we have a problem, but every night I'm making new best friends, and the only problem is we like having a good time.
Hello, hello, hello. It is Thursday night. It is 8 p.m. And you know what that means. It's another episode of Between Two Beards. A big one tonight. We have a special guest who will be joining us momentarily. Pluggo's internet has sucked all time we've been here. Choppy.
Oh my God.
He's looking choppy. He's looking like he's part of Minecraft. He looks like he's part of Minecraft right now.
I'm working on that.
I'm just messing with
you. We just got a confirmation for another guest to stop by tonight. Also, full disclosure, like every time I make up our graphics and do like our tweets and stuff and make things on our own, we will.
Shoot.
I always put my face is on this side of the graphic and you're over here. I thought it was swapped. So when I was putting my face over there, I was like, man, that's very cocky of me to go first. It's the actual graphic of the show. I realized I was doing it right the whole time.
You were.
Go Pluggo.
You got to give yourself more credit. You got to give yourself more credit.
But we got a big night tonight.
Yes, we do.
In the house. Ask your questions. I already know what he's going to ask you about. Mrs. Pluggo.
Don't ever show that comment on the screen again. That's the last time.
Alex,
that's the last time we're doing anything pro Steelers ever.
Listen. Alex, the Ecto guy, the producer, has returned to his throne. He's home. We got big money Drew Nicolas in the house.
Get off the screen.
Get out of here. Get home. And I just found out the boss himself, Spenny Love, is stopping by at some point this evening to talk LPW7. Here comes the wrestlers. So we're doing big things right now, right here, Between Two Beards, shutting it down. Speaking, I just said his name, Big Money Drew. Let's get him on the screen. Let's talk some wrestling.
What's up, buddy? There he is, our buddy Drew Nicolas popping in here. Very excited to have you this evening. How are you, my friend?
I am doing great. This has been such an interesting week in wrestling. I brought back a throwback shirt.
Still hasn't WWE, and it's quite refreshing.
Yeah.
KO looked very NXT KO on Monday night, and I loved it.
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely.
100%. But we are happy to have you. Pluggo, I didn't even ask how you were.
No.
Don't take that the wrong way.
Much going on. So
Don't take that the wrong way. I hope you're well. All right, what do you say? Hold on. He needs my opinion.
I'll
That's what everybody tuned in to hear. Bullshit fantasy football talk, guys.
Here we go. We'll get this out of the way really quick.
Jesus.
We had our draft. So we had an RFA draft. The ruling stated 6 o'clock. That's the deadline. Get your bids in by 6 p.m. Anything at 6 p.m. and past is done. He puts a bid in and it timestamped at 6. And he was denied the bid because it wasn't at 5:59. Do you allow the 6 o'clock bid on the dot, or
the deadline was 6 p.m. The deadline is 6 p.m. or is the deadline 5:59 p.m.? So if the deadline's 6 p.m. and you send it in at 6 p.m., one, be more proactive than that. But two, if the deadline is 6 p.m. and you send it in at 6 p.m., that's valid. You sent it in. If you would have sent it in at 6:01, F you, you're gone. See you later.
I'll have to read the rules back, but I think 5.
But if the deadline, if someone in charge of me goes, hey man, you need to be in this office by 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, I'm showing up a few minutes early because I'm proactive, Culp. But in general, if I show up at 9 a.m., I got there by the time he asked me to get there. So that's how that goes.
Cab guy in the house.
I'm calling it valid.
It's a guy you're not even. It's Mark Ingram of all fucking people.
I mean, whatever. I mean, who cares? At that point, who cares? We already lost a viewer. They don't care about fantasy football.
Anyway.
All right. So, God, boring, you know? Jeez. I love you, Culp. I'm going to destroy you in our fantasy football league this year. But we got turnbuckle talk here. We got everybody coming in. But as Drew said when he hopped on.
We brought in Drew.
We did.
Who is one of the best minds in wrestling. And we're not talking about wrestling yet.
So. Football.
No, but we're going to start talking about wrestling. Because as he said, it was quite a chaotic.
No.
Nope.
Quite a chaotic, newsworthy week, both inside the ring like on the shows we watch and outside. So we got a lot to dive into. I mean, I feel like we have to start with Dynamite last night and what happened with, I mean, CM Punk and Moxley, and we can kind of tie that in and to all the backstage stuff because CM Punk is kind of involved with a lot of that. Oh, Turnbuckle Talk coming in with the soccer football talk, the original football. Yeah, Manchester United, really? Ooh. Anyway. So let's start with AEW. Do we want to run through all of Dynamite, or do we want to jump straight to this CM Punk Moxley match? Because that was the story of the night, obviously. So,
I mean, that's what overtook everything.
Yeah, so let's dive into that. Okay, so first of all, we're about 45 minutes into Dynamite, and they're interviewing Death Triangle in the back. Well, actually, first of all, everyone assumed this was the main event of All Out. And we'll dive into it because today, Dave Meltzer on Observer Radio. Yes, that's what we're doing, Ab Guy. We got you. We got your back. Earlier today, apparently, Dave Meltzer on Observer Radio said that the plan still is for the main event at All Out to be Punk and Moxley. So we can kind of dive into that part after. But everyone assumed, hey, this is a killer main event for All Out. It's the big pay-per-view, the main pay-per-view of the year. Cool. Then we get what happens last week with the promo and Moxley and stuff. And then they just announce, oh, no, it's happening this week on Dynamite. And right there immediately, I'm like, what? Like, why would they do that? Then we get a little bit by Dynamite. Death Triangle's getting interviewed. And as they're interviewing him, Tony Schiavone says, in tonight's main event, we have the trios. And then I'm just like, what? That's the main, like, what the hell's going on here? And then they have the entrances. Everybody looks great. CM Punk looks amazing. He looks pumped, ready to go. And then we got a 2-minute and 59-second match where they start beating the crap out of each other. Yeah. Punk goes for a kick, immediately grabs his foot. The commentators are playing into, did he come back too early? Is it the injured foot? Blah, blah. Moxley being Moxley, like a shark in blood-infested waters, is like, I'm killing this guy. And he goes over there, gives the elbows, kills them. 2 Death Riders, 1, 2, 3. Jon Moxley is the undisputed AEW champion in under 3 minutes.
And
the hell happened? What the hell happened?
His opinion on this video, bro. Bobby Munson said, "Good evening, good friends." Andrew, it is the best night in Love Wrestling. Thursday nights. You stay tuned right after us. Major Love Wrestling with Bobby Munson and Papa Smokes, even your best MLW coverage in the business.
That is true.
So we did a sidecast last night, so our reactions were in the moment. So you're watching Dynamite last night. You're hyped up. Everyone's hyped up. It's Punk. It's Mox. It's the world title. It unfolded just the way JPJ described it. What was your initial reaction to that? Like, what are you thinking? What's going through your mind?
So what's going through my mind, of course, I also think this is the main event. Why wouldn't it be the main event?
Of course.
And then the exact reaction I had when they were having that backstage segment and Tony Schiavone announces that match is going to be the main event and not the world title match. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, somebody's coming back tonight.
Right.
Yeah, like your mind automatically is like, something big is going on here. Like
I initially thought I thought they were going to run the show late because let it go for 30, 40 minutes and then give us the 3-on-3. But
yeah, so hey.
We got Throwback in the chat saying, what's good, guys? Saying Drew's the head of the table.
Don't put Pluggo down.
Oh, yeah. And he says, Pluggo, he's going to win the draft on Sunday. Throwback.
Right there, by the way.
I like you, buddy.
Is that it? There it is. Yeah.
Nobody's beating me.
Listen, I feel like I got hosed in that tournament, but that's okay. That's all right.
It is okay.
You'll get another shot someday.
That's all right. Maybe I'll just take it tonight.
Yeah, but continue, Drew, about everything that went on leading up to what we saw.
So I'm like, I think most people thought, 1, this is the main event. 2, Punk wins, MJF comes out. Match for All Out.
Yeah, 100%.
So the good thing, this is what I love about AEW, is that they do something totally different from what you're expecting.
Mhm.
And WWE is kind of doing that now more recently, but
Yes.
AEW has been doing it longer, and I loved the unpredictability of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, and of course, I say unpredictability, even though I just said I figured Punk was going to win.
Yeah.
But I love when they swerve you like that. It's
Mhm.
like, oh shit, okay, so this isn't the main event. But now this match was like, oh, okay, match is starting, bell rings, so this is an official match. There's
Yeah.
no shenanigans. There's no, this isn't happening until All Out. This is happening right now. And then it's over in 3 minutes.
Literally.
Billy Gunn and
Had a longer match
Austin
on
Gunn
Dynamite.
or Colton
He had a
Austin,
longer
whichever.
match last
Crazy.
night than the undisputed championship bout. What?
And I'm going, well, I guess there's no MJF tonight.
No.
So where are you guys at in terms of like work, shoot? Is Punk
Well,
done
okay, and this was the
forever?
next section I wanted to dive into about this, because now, and like Drew said, I am intrigued because I have no idea what is going on. There were rumors that Punk has been very unhappy to the point where some people thought he might quit or not show up to Dynamite. Is this Tony saying, or is Punk leaving? So this is how they get him out of there. They're obviously last week with the Hangman Page stuff where Punk kind of went into business for himself. Parrish, what is going on, my friend? Parrish is having a match tomorrow night on LPW 7, which I'm sure Spencer will be chatting about when he hops
With a
on
good friend
in a
of
little
ours,
bit.
Bobby Sharp. This is going to
Bobby
be a
Sharp,
tough one
friend
to
of the
pick.
show.
We love Bobby. We love Parrish. It's going to be an interesting.
So
my heart's going to be all over.
So why don't we save that one, because we'll be talking about WWE in a little bit. So we're talking AEW now. So there's so many ways that what's the reasoning for why we saw what we saw last night? Like, do they have something bigger planned for All Out? Like, is there a bigger story at hand? Is it like a work? Like, is it a work, or is it because Punk is unhappy? Is it because Punk is still not as healthy? Yeah, we love you, Throwback. Punk is still kind of banged up, and he realized, ooh, I'm not fully healthy yet. So this is a way to get around that. There's so many ways that this can go, and it's intriguing. It's very intriguing because, as wrestling fans, and don't get me wrong, like, I follow the dirt sheets. I subscribe to the people I'm supposed to subscribe to, but it's very rare nowadays where things happen where you don't have a rumor, or you don't have a somewhat of an inkling or a report that, hey, this is how this is going to go, or this is how, and I feel like this week in two separate scenarios, one with WWE, which we'll talk about in a little bit, and with the way that this match went down, it took everybody by surprise, and nobody knows what the hell's going on. And I don't think that's a negative. I think people are genuinely like, wow, like, it's exciting to me. I like it.
It itself is not a negative, but then there are a bunch of negative people online who take it in a completely different direction.
Yes, always.
Everyone has to be in the know, and everyone has to give their opinions, as terrible as they may be, because that's what Twitter allows.
Yeah.
So like in I don't know, like it's so. I think it makes All Out more intriguing because, and we haven't mentioned yet, there is going to be a casino battle royal.
Yes, there is.
For #1 contendership. And I wonder who the mystery person is going to be.
Could it be MJF? Maybe we mentioned him earlier, but
Marco Stunt.
Pluggo he tries his best every week to get Marco Stunt back on AEW. I swear he does.
I think I am the only podcast content personality that is pushing for Marco Stunt to be back on AEW.
It's fair.
I might be the only one.
Would love it too. Sure.
Yeah.
See, there we go. See, there we go. Drew's on board. Let's make it happen. Team Marco for life. For me, I know, like, CM Punk is my favorite wrestler of all time. Like, I don't make any bones about it, but I do understand he's not for everyone. So that He's he's the most polarizing wrestler in probably history. I mean, just you either love him or you despise him, but whatever. And I'm watching that thing and I'm thinking like, I don't think he's legit hurt because I don't think, but we talked last night. Maybe it was just one of those things where it's like it is still hurt, and it may take a little longer. But the doctor was like, you can't really do any more damage to it if you just go out there. And I mean, if you're gonna get squashed by somebody, I mean, it's pretty realistic that it is Mox's injury or not. So. I just this is so intriguing. Like, I don't know, because you hear all the rumors of the backstage heat. He wasn't
exactly,
happy.
and I think that adds a certain layer to everything, where it's like that's why people don't know what's going on because of all that extra stuff. But it's not like there's no rumors of Punk wanting to fight Hangman or Punk having closed door meetings with higher ups about how unhappy he is, or the fact that other talents, unnamed, but other talents are saying that he has not been a good guy to be around sometimes back there. Like, he's just been a jerk, and like, not stuff that when you hear from CM Punk, it's a shock. He's kind of always had a little bit of that to his, his legacy of sorts. But when you hear all that and then you see the way it happened, that's why, because I literally don't know. I don't know if he's hurt. I don't know if he's quitting. I don't know if he's leaving. I don't know. Yeah.
In regards to him being hurt still, I had thought of two things. One is they did this because he is still hurt, and they wanted to have an undisputed champion to go into All Out and beyond, because he's going to have to take more time than they expected. That's number one. Number two, and I didn't notice this as it happened, but later on Twitter, and also I did Body Slam's post AEW show, and Phil Lindsay was on, whom I love so much.
Oh, love Phil. Phil. Been on the show before, friend of the show. Love Phil.
Love Phil, yeah.
And he made me realize first, before I saw it on Twitter, when Punk did the roundhouse kick, that was not the foot that was injured.
Yes.
And that's the foot that he grabbed as if it was commentary played it up.
They really did. They even said, did he come back too soon? No, there's the bad foot. So but it's the other foot. It was the other foot.
I don't know if that was an accident or if that was intentional. And I see, like, from what people have said about, like, this is how we get the heel turn for Punk.
People are talking about that.
I don't know how losing the match helps the heel turn, because you wouldn't want to, unless it's legit. He sold an injury, just accidentally did it with the wrong foot. That was how the finish was supposed to be.
Well, and then I was gonna say, there was that rumor floating around that Mox pushed for this match so he could come back and spin it, like, you pushed me into this match a week or two early.
Right. Yes, so there was that rumor. That's right.
He could do that. There's
so
many ways he could go.
Yeah, and when it comes to the potential with the people, the chatter about the Punk heel turn, I think the way that he would go about it, because they did do that camera shot where he's getting helped, and they did the camera shot where he kind of looks back. And he looked back at everything for like a split second, and they specifically zoomed in on his face, like looking back at wow, look at all these people cheering for this guy. I'm hurt over here, and these people don't give a shit about me. They're all cheering for this guy who just beat the crap out of me when I'm hurt and all this stuff. So I think the heel turn would be based on like, hey, I came back for you people, and you people were, I think it would be more of like him against the fans as opposed to like him turning heel against like what Moxley did or something like that,
This isn't like a direct comparison, because one of the people I'm about to mention is a piece of poop. I don't know if I can curse on this thing.
Yeah, you sure can.
You can.
Watch.
Piece of shit.
Jesus, Alex, get off the damn screen.
So you remember back in 2013, And I did a rewatch of this time frame in WWE, so it's more fresh in my mind. This is, if they do that way, that, this is, how are these people cheering for him when I'm the injured one, and everyone loves me. This was a similar thing that they did when Dolph Ziggler cashed in
on Del Rio.
Bank.
Yeah,
Del Rio was a face who had been injured.
Yep.
And was playing up the injury in the match, and the whole crowd went bonkers for Ziggler cashing in and winning. And that started his heel turn.
Yep.
It's hard not to root for Mox, though, in any situation.
But yeah, literally. And
right.
So,
and he's so damn good.
I think if there's anybody in the wrestling world on the mic that could make a you people promos not feel like you people promos, CM Punk is going to be the guy that can do that.
Yeah,
so I don't worry about, and I understand that because the you people promos we see them too much everywhere. But I do think Punk is just so creative and just so he's one of the best on the mic in the history of wrestling. So I think he'll find a way where he'll have the you people vibe, but he'll do it in a very original CM Punk way.
But at least his you people will be legitimate.
It'll be justified. Because he was a good guy. He's a good guy.
The people legitimately cheered for the other person.
Correct. And he got booed when when they introduced him before the match. CM Punk got some boos. Moxley did not get. They were doing the dual chants and stuff, but like CM Punk was the bad guy in that. Like Moxley was the overwhelming fan favorite.
So we're all kind of in agreement that this is for sure. He's coming back. He's not done because he left the WWE in such a bad way. I can't imagine that this is how he would want, no matter what's going on in the backstage with AEW. I can't imagine he'd want to leave his wrestling career again on such a weird note.
Yeah, I don't think that's happening.
So I would hope that, but I also today I was like scrolling through Twitter. Work has been kind of hectic, so I didn't dive too deep into anything. I just kind of caught headlines of stuff. And like one of the headlines was that Punk and Mox will be at All Out again.
Well, that's Meltzer. So Meltzer on Observer Radio today said that the internal plan still says that the main event of All Out is still Jon Moxley versus CM Punk. So we only have one Dynamite. Yeah, and Turnbuckle Talk says Punk isn't leaving.
And then throwbacks.
And then, throwbacks comment. We're going to talk about WWE then, like the second half. So I definitely want to save his WWE comments for them, so we can kind of bring them up when we're doing them. But yeah, so like, oh God, I have no idea. I just have no idea what's going on.
How would you do it then if you're going to do this again?
But my thing is, I enjoyed what we saw last night. Was it shocking? And like Pluggo and I were doing a watch along, and I felt like even the live crowd, when you watch it, that live crowd was hot last night in Cleveland throughout most of that show.
Yeah.
But right after that happened, the next segment, Ricky Starks cut an unbelievable promo. It was an excellent promo. But even the crowd,
Ricky, man.
they were hot. They got hot for Ricky because he won them over with his charisma because he's just amazing. But not to the level that they would have been because everybody was still like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
Like,
everybody was blowing. And I said it on our watch along.
Yeah, we were on the watch along. And I feel like for the next two segments, we were like, huh? What's wrestling?
Yeah. I think I tweeted like 15 minutes later. I'm still confused.
Yeah, like I'm still thinking about why that happened. Like where are we going?
But I did
All Out, their biggest pay-per-views in 10 days. What's the main event?
Yep.
What is happening?
Because they put it in a bad spot. I mean, there was most eyes would have been on him in that, but doing that finish and then putting Ricky up. But that is also a testament to how fucking amazing Ricky Starks is, that he's able to keep that crowd at a peak after all that like insane chaos where it's like, what just happened? And he's like, nope, you guys are still mine. And he pulled it off. So congratulations, Ricky Starks, man.
I don't know.
Superstar.
If we end up still getting Punk and Mox as the main event of All Out, I will be, I mean, obviously, and I trust AEW to tell, I feel like they've earned the right for me to at least like see what the story will be of how we get to that second match in 10 days, especially if Punk was playing off an injury to the point where he had to be helped to the back by multiple people. But at the same time, if if the plan still is, oh, Punk and Mox at All Out, like that's what we want to do, we're not getting away from that plan, then why did you even have the match? Like, why didn't you just not have that match last night? Like, why? How do you justify that match? That's where I'm confused. Like, I just don't know what the kicker or what is CM Punk next week, a week later, walk out and go, oh, my foot's fine. My foot's fine. I'm good. Like, let's go. Like, it's like, what? All right. You look like you were going to be gone for 8 months. Well, you literally couldn't walk. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like and again, it's Meltzer. He is right a lot, but he's not perfect. Nobody is. So we don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, he does have some weight to what he reports because he is right a lot. So take it for what it is. But if the main event of All Out is still going to be Punk and Mox, then what purpose did yesterday serve? Really?
I didn't catch.
I guess would be my question.
I didn't catch the ratings, but
they did over 1 million.
So if you think about it in the short term, they popped a rating given all of the hype around Raw and the trending upwards in viewership. I know viewership is kind of a boring topic to talk about, but that's what we're here. Like wrestling has been, and that's why Drew is here. I was like, we got to get him on. He's itching to talk. We always are itching to talk. Wrestling has just been nuts.
And Punk heel turn, yeah. I mean, I think it's coming.
King of the Indies, welcome to the show, friend. That's a new name down there.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like a conspiracy. It's kind of like a fantasy booking, but kind of conspiratorial. So let me walk you through this, okay? This is my dartboard with all the lines drawn to everything.
Big Ben is angry in the chat.
What? Stop with the heat, Ben.
I know. CM Punk is very smart. Yes, Woo. Big Ben. I want Drew to get to his theory, but Big Ben was he got put in an armbar by Ronda Rousey last week on SmackDown.
So you're saying he's had plenty of time to come up with these hot takes?
Correct. I would assume he's at home resting up with his arm in a sling.
I'm sure
she might have ripped it out of socket. But friend of the show, Big Ben, that was awesome seeing you on SmackDown. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool moment. So, Drew, your theory, my friend. Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so, actually, before I get to my theory, he was really on SmackDown?
Yeah, he was in. Yeah, it was in Montreal, and he was an extra, and he was the security guard that got put in the armbar in the ring by Ronda Rousey.
That's awesome.
Congrats, yeah, super awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, he was not. That was a legit security guard. Wrestling is real, you haters.
That's really cool, Ben. I'm really happy for you.
What he said, Punk is better heel than face. I would agree with that. His WWE title run with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So here's my thing.
But he had to come. Oh, go ahead, Drew. I'm gonna let you do it. We've been putting that off. Go for it.
Here's my thing. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I think it was last week on Dynamite. The Wardlow and FTR did the promo where they mentioned the Pinnacle.
Yeah.
That's the same day or day before or day after Sean Ross Sapp reported that MJF was in talks for returning.
Okay.
Now, I have this feeling that FTR haven't been put in the tag title picture for a reason. I think it's because what could potentially happen at All Out is Punk pretty much says, I missed Forbidden Door. That was my time to shine with the AEW title in my hometown. Mox, please give me another match. I'll be 100% for it, or as best as I can. I just want a rematch. I just want to do this for my hometown. Mox says yes, because Mox, why would he say no?
Yeah, Mox is a fighter. He'll say yes. He'll fight anybody.
He just murked him in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, I have a feeling, this is just my gut feeling, and other people have said this on Twitter too. I've seen this out there. But my real feeling that I really hope happens, because what a crazy thing this would be. They do this rematch at All Out, and MJF returns and helps Punk win.
I thought about that, because that would be interesting if they.
And Punk and MJF reform the Pinnacle with Punk in the role of whose name I'm forgetting right now, who just left. Tully Blanchard.
Oh, Tully Blanchard, yeah.
Or he's like the veteran, older guy now, watching over the whole group.
Oh.
And
Hold your
FTR turned heel also to finally get their match with the babyface Swerve and Keith Lee.
Heck yeah.
That wouldn't be bad.
I would like, because then you could kind of do the Punk Jericho or the MJF Jericho thing where they kind of like, there's always this like, when's it gonna happen? When's it gonna happen? Maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does. I don't need them to sing though, like Jericho. But yeah, I like Big Ben. Said he had another hot take while he's sitting there nursing that arm. That Ronda Rousey's really good at arm bars.
That's what he said.
We got Dare Amazing, our boy Dare Amazing in the house. What's good? Saying hey B2B.
And the King of the Indies kind of agrees with you, maybe to an extent. He says Punk will turn heel in Chicago and join the Pinnacle. Yeah, that's what he said. So
now the thing with that, my one thing about that is, how does Wardlow fit into all of this? Because Wardlow squash, and this is something else I thought of today. There have only been 2 major squash matches this year. I don't know if there have ever been that many major like squash matches and like a major match where you're not expecting that Goldberg, Brock Lesnar type of a huge thing that you think is going to go 7-8 minutes long, and it's only like 2-3 minutes. The only other squash match in AEW this year was Wardlow and MJF.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
I called that one too. I was pretty excited.
So for both of those men to have had the only squash matches and major matches this year, I think it would be wild if they joined forces after hating each other, and there's easy way to explain that away. My one thing is, what do they do with Wardlow? Now, I don't know if Wardlow just goes along with it, or if
he says, "I'm good. I'm out of here. You guys do your thing, but I'm out. I'm good."
Wardlow he's gonna stay away from Pinnacle. He's done with that shit, right? He's TNT champ. He's the only guy right now.
But they've referenced the Pinnacle when he's teaming up with FTR. Like they've referenced
he's keeping it.
Whatever.
Here's what he's gonna do. This is what I would do with it if it was me, because we've talked about this in the past. Like Wardlow screams double champ to me, right? There's already in the haters saying there's too many belts in AEW anyway, so you wouldn't really hurt anything by putting the titles both on Wardlow. Like Punk, MJF come back together, they fight. He takes the winner. He goes, "I'll take winner because it's my time. I beat both of you." Yada yada, whatever. And then we could have a TNT title tournament or something, because he's bigger than that TNT title. And if you really want to push him and keep him hot, just give him the AW world, give him a run. Give him a run. That's what I would do. But I'm crazy.
You are crazy. I don't think he's been built to the point where he's world champion material yet.
Well, he said, though, he wasn't even going to mess with the interim title because all he wants is the real one.
That is true.
He didn't even want to mess with that. So
good point.
When it comes to MJF, and I know the character would suggest that he would always stay in character and be the shit heel, but that last promo that he cut on Dynamite before we haven't seen him since, that was a babyface promo.
Yeah,
it was a babyface promo. He got a babyface reaction. My thought process
but he also figured out how to turn it back to heel because he did.
Yeah, he can do. Yeah, but I'm just saying, I think he can be that middle guy where the crowd actually likes him and supports him, but he's still a dick, if that makes sense. And my thought process going into this, before even we found out the match was happening last night, was, I think Punk's going to win the title at All Out, and I think MJF returns for a stare down, and then they have their rubber match at whatever, Grand Slam, or they push it off till full gear, whatever. Grand Slam's in New York, where MJF is from.
Right.
He comes back.
Yeah.
And if they crown him AEW champion as a heel or a face in his home state, that's what I thought. But now, with Punk losing last night, are you going to have him get the title back just to have him lose it again 3 weeks later? And like, that doesn't make sense.
AEW doesn't do hot shot titles.
Exactly. They don't hot shot things like that quite often, if ever. You know,
but they definitely. But I keep harkening back to like, you don't blow your wad on this match on Wednesday if you don't have something bigger.
and I think this is part of the intriguing part, which makes us all excited that we've been talking about this for 30 minutes. You have to assume the way that went down, that they have something even crazier or even bigger planned for this particular storyline, the AEW title, All Out, whatever. But it makes you think, well, if they just did that last night, Roundtable, how we doing? Thanks for popping in.
Always good to see you.
Yeah, we got
everybody. Keep them coming.
Everybody's coming. Keeping them coming, guys. This is good stuff. I mean, it's a very divisive topic. People want to talk about it. I just feel like everyone has that, like, oh, well, if they did that last night, then that means something really big is going on. But none of us even have an idea of what it could be.
That happened recently with the WWE, where we all worked ourselves into this, like, something big's going to happen at this pay-per-view, and the WWE gave us nothing.
Yeah.
And nothing happened, and we were all like, what the hell? Like, I really hope we're not.
That's happened so many times. I don't even know what you're talking about.
But I feel like it was recent. But yeah, like this card still is All Out worthy. Looks great. But it is Tony Khan's MO and his style to go big at the end of these pay-per-views. So MJF doesn't even have to get involved. Just showing up, his music hits. That's all you need.
Right.
Yeah, and I want to say to Roundtable Pro Wrestling Pod, thank you. He says he's been pushing our channel, so
thank you.
Appreciate that love and support, my friend. Keep doing it.
Let's reset right there, because we can't do this without any of you. Big Money Drew's here. We can't do it without his fans, our fans. We love everybody. All the comments, keep them coming. We have a great community of people here. We keep it respectful, and I love you guys for that. Because I mean, we got Heel Speak the Truth. We got Turnbuckle Talk asking if CM Punk the new Bret Hart. Like, what? Turnbuckle? Put that on the screen. I missed that one. Better than most, but whines a lot and entitled. Yeah, I think but that's Punk, and that was Bret. Like, and Punk loves Bret Hart. Like, he idolizes Bret. We are community, bro. Much love. Yeah, absolutely. And we're just trying to build it. We appreciate everybody showing up Thursday nights.
Just a question, because I just thought of this now. Has MJF ever said anything about Bret Hart? Do we know?
Not that I can remember off my top of my head, but I mean, he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. So I don't know. I'm super interested on how they play this. I know we've been talking about this CM Punk topic forever because it's hot. It's booming. He teased him. Alex in our private chat, producer Alex said that he had teased Punk about the Bret Hart stuff. About Hall of Fame situation.
The Hall of Fame situation when I think Bret got tackled. I was there live for that. What a
Oh yeah!
Holy crap!
I remember
what a moment that was. Like, oh my god!
With the Hall of Fame, I remember that vividly because, like, if I miss the Hall of Fame live, like, I don't sweat it. I'll watch it later or watch the people I want. So I happened to be watching. It was during like the NCAA tournament or something, and like all of a sudden I'm like, why the hell is Bret Hart trending? What happened? And then you saw that video, and then you saw Cash.
Cash just knocked the guy out,
dude, and I was like,
damn! I was like, yep.
I was like, is this real?
The reason why I had asked is because it could be a stable of the Bret Hart guys.
Yeah,
you know, him, Punk, FTR, and Wardlow. If Wardlow decided to stay with that,
my question is, where does Sean Spears fit into all this?
He's gonna carry the.
Come on,
Blackpool Combat Club versus a Pinnacle-led Punk and MJF. That's a match.
I forgot about Sean Spears.
Yeah.
How could you forget
chilling
about
at home?
The perfect 10.
The chairman.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I mean, I know his wife is pregnant right now.
Yes.
Congratulations to them. So I obviously he must be out because of that. So he doesn't really fit into any of this.
Wardlow said he was a fan of Bret as a kid also. Yeah.
Yeah, so Wardlow says who wasn't a fan of Bret? I mean, I know there are some, but come on, Bret rules.
If you want to intertwine these dynamics with the Blackpool Combat Club and you want to intertwine it with Pinnacle stuff, maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. But all of these components could either flip on a heel or a face depending on how the crowd sways. So like Blackpool Combat Club could be a heel faction if they really wanted to be. I mean, everybody loves them. You know what I mean? So
I just got an idea.
All right, drop it, big. That's what you're here for. You're the idea man. That's what we brought you in for.
All AEW titles, Pinnacle versus all ROH titles, Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
Battle of the Belts.
Battle of the Belts. You could even do a blood and guts.
Blood and guts.
You could even do like a blood and guts sorts where it's like 5-on-5 or whatever for all the belts and stuff like that. Because I actually
the
think
New Heart Foundation, the Hitmen.
Oh yeah, I think what eventually happens is, you know, we're kind of seeing it with Daniel Garcia, and we will talk about some other things that happened.
Didn't Bret Hart just re-sign though with WWE? Like, not.
I don't know if that actually ended up happening.
I don't know if it ended up happening. It was rumored, but I haven't heard.
I thought I saw a story that he had re-signed, so that I don't know how much
it's a
they
Legends
want to
deal.
lean.
I think he might have signed a new Legends deal.
Well, I don't know how much you want to lean into the Hitman thing if he's signed, because then you can't have him come in.
And Alex said in the chat, he goes, you could not even, like, if you wanted to go away from the Pinnacle, you could like name it something like the Hitmen, or like you could name it something that's more a reference. And AEW is making their way to Canada, to be in Toronto very soon. So,
which is a great thing because those crowds were on fire, and we got to see some of our friends in the Canadian wrestling scene get their shine.
It was that was definitely a time last night, and I felt like it took me to that amazing main event. Really, it took me like a good 2 segments after that happened for me to kind of like snap back in and be like, okay, like I'm watching a wrestling show here. Like I got to get out of the fog of my brain of trying to figure out what the hell just happened there.
Just let it play out, bro.
Yeah, we have to, but it's like, no, I want to know. You know, Alex Pawlowski said it best last night. He goes, I have no idea what's going on, and I absolutely love it, but I still feel like I need to know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's going on, but I love not knowing what's going on. And it's like, it's like one of those things where like, I need to know.
How are you, like, Drew, are you a guy that's like cool with spoilers, or do you like to just let it play out, or are you one of those like, I gotta know what's happening I want to know the angle, or are you just like, let me watch the show and figure it out for myself?
I don't care actually about spoilers. I'm totally fine with being spoiled. That's not 100% true. When there's something truly special, like what happened on Monday that we'll get to, that's a moment that I think deserves to not be spoiled. So I'm happy that that moment didn't get spoiled, because I'm such a huge fan and love that man so much. And we'll get to the story of that when we get there. But it's very rare where I will go, I would rather not be spoiled.
Yeah. And I mean, who doesn't love sitting there and seeing something that you're not expecting? And obviously, you're referring to one Johnny Gargano, which we'll talk about in a few here. But nobody knew. They were in Cleveland the week before, and they were like, "Oh, it's happening, Cleveland. Triple H is in charge, Cleveland. Oh, Ciampa's fighting for the U.S. title, 100%. I was one of them. I was saying it. That's me. Yep. I'm saying like 100%. It's happening. It's happening." And it didn't. And then all of a sudden, it's 10 o'clock on Monday night, and they're in Toronto, Canada. And I heard the music, and I was like, "Huh?" And then it was like, "Is that Johnny Gargano? Is that the old Rebel Heart? Is that what I'm hearing right here?" And then it happened, and I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like, "Oh my God, Johnny Gargano's back!" And he looked great. He was happy. They made him look like he. And again, this is with Triple H, because Triple H made so many people in NXT Black and Gold that when they were handed off to Vince McMahon, they were handed off on silver platters. Hey, here's a star for you. And for whatever reason, most of the time, Vince was like, "Yeah, no, not happening." And then you saw immediately Gargano gets the 10 o'clock time slot in the ring by himself, cutting a babyface promo, made to be an immediate main player on Raw. You saw it with Karrion Kross a couple weeks before. Immediately comes back, is involved with Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns in the Universal Championship picture. Like, Triple H is not just bringing his people back. He's bringing his people back and making them immediate main level players. And I think that is another difference that we're going to see with Triple H. Like, he's going to He's not going to call somebody up from NXT and put them in a demolition mask and go, yeah, we're going to change everything you were completely about what got you over. Like Triple H is going to, oh yeah, you're the Karrion Kross that was the double champ down in NXT. So when you come back, your first segment's going to involve Roman Reigns, who's been running this company for 2 years. Like that matters. And Gargano getting that slot, getting that type of promo, that hero's return. Even if you didn't know who Johnny Gargano was, you're watching that show and going, oh crap, this guy seems like he must be a big deal. Who is this guy? Let me go check it out. He meant,
I would have had him come out in bondage gear, no kink shame.
That's what I'm saying, you know?
I would have done that.
It's like they immediately are like, holy crap, not only is Johnny Gargano here, he's going to matter on this show. Like he's going to matter.
Yeah.
Before we get Drew's thoughts on that return, I have to say, our boy, not our boy in the sense of like, we like the dude, but like our boy in the sense that we've talked about him enough on this damn show, Theory, like is not doing himself any favors. Like everyone already hates him. Johnny was excited to see him, and he was just like, screw you. It's like,
listen,
Theory, you had an ally for like 30 seconds, and you're over here getting, what are you doing, bro?
Yeah, that's fine. All I ask is that at some point in the not so far distant future, The Way makes a triumphant return on the main roster. That's all I want. That's all I want.
They're teasing it. But Drew, so you were talking about Johnny's back. You kept teasing it throughout the show, saying we're gonna talk about him. So what were your thoughts? You're sitting there Monday night. What are you thinking? Like, oh shit. So it took me a second when Rebel Heart started.
Yeah, you could see the crowd too. There was like one guy that stood up right before everybody, and he had a look on his face like, "Wait a minute." Like he stood up, huh? Is that what I think? And that's how I was on my couch. I was like, holy shit, is this what? What is this?
I got a phone call midway through the tag match between Ciampa, Miz, and who were they facing?
Oh my god.
Styles and Lashley.
Bobby Lashley. That was a good match. That was a very good match.
So I'm never answering my phone during Raw again.
You could have said that a month ago.
And yes, because I switched, because I watch it on my computer here on YouTube TV, and I flipped off of that because I was doing something work related on my computer. So I flipped off of that. I didn't have headphones on or anything, so I wasn't listening to anything. So it was like 10:03, 10:02. I finished. I'm like, oh, I missed that. Whatever. I'll catch up on that later. Let me go back to Raw. Let me go back to the Raw tab. And Johnny Gargano is in the middle of the ring. And I was like,
you're like, no!
Wait. What video package is it? I thought it was a video package. Yeah. I didn't even know that he was in the ring live. Yeah. And then it went on and I'm like, wait a minute. This is not a video package. He's in the ring right now. He's actually there live. So then I went back and I saw, I didn't remember how Rebel Heart started either. So I definitely would have had the same thing like, oh, wait, what's this?
Yeah.
And then Gargano being on the Tron, that would have been, oh my God, it's Rebel Heart. It's Johnny Gargano.
Incredible.
So I am a huge, huge fan of Johnny Gargano. I got to meet him once. I got to talk to him for a couple of minutes. He's such an amazing, wonderful person. One of the people who has legitimately made me cry in wrestling. I mentioned this on the Roundtable podcast last night, on Monday night rather, and I met him the night before he won the North American title.
Oh, beauty!
So I was like, if you win the title, I'm probably going to cry again. He said, "You promise?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes. Yeah. Sure enough, it ended up happening. So I
would have sent him a video like, told you.
And I was just like, I'm just over the moon that he's back, and this is where he belonged. It's crazy to say that, because if it were if it was a month ago, just a month ago, no Triple H in charge yet, Johnny Gargano would never going to come back to this company.
No, he probably would have been closing in with AEW or Impact. Like he would not. It wouldn't happen. Just wouldn't happen.
And it definitely would not have been the best choice for him. As much as I love AEW,
Yep.
They've got way too many people right now, and he would not have been a centerpiece that he deserves to be.
Absolutely.
So I'm very, very happy, and the theory thing was fun too. The way was one of like the last things that I cared about in NXT before I went to 2.0. And now this is my question to you guys. All of our thoughts were Dexter Lumis is back because Johnny Gargano and he was involved in all of Ciampa's stuff. So, do we still think that they're connected in some way?
I think so. Yeah, I think Lumis kidnapping the Miz, I think could be like, hey, the Miz is kind of the new sidekick. Like, you know, like the Miz and Ciampa are together. They're friends. So I'm going to get this Miz guy out of the picture.
In Loomis's mind, he's like, that's Johnny's guy.
That's Johnny's guy. That's like, Johnny's friend. Yeah. That's even though they've had a tumultuous friendship, clearly. But, you know.
Because I know, like, with this, like, with Johnny Gargano, just to reiterate it, like, when he left NXT, I said, we have to talk about it. Because he may not ever come back to this. And he's one of the guys that, like, I was always a Ciampa guy in their feuds, but I never just, like, Johnny's a phenomenal wrestler, but that feud that they had back in, I want to say New Orleans, maybe, the one where just Ciampa came out, no music, and it was just a blood, like, everybody just was boo, F you, F.
It's still to this day.
Like, that made me realize that, okay, I was into NXT, but I was like, that made me like, I have to watch weekly to see this guy.
It's still to this day, it's the greatest story NXT has ever told.
Yes,
is the Gargano Ciampa saga.
It felt in my opinion. It felt like too. It felt like with Vince under the regime back then, like he didn't like Johnny because it's like there was always like, okay, this is the takeover where he's done. This is the take because he's been here for 50 years. He's done all of it. He's won it all. Then they do the way thing. And I was like, oh shit, they're going to ruin what's great about Johnny Gargano. But then he figured out a way to make that successful and keep us invested in that Index wedding when he's just like playing that just nervous dad. And he's, oh dude. So I'm like,
was amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what they do. And Triple H strikes me as the guy that is like Tony Khan isn't going to make us feel silly.
Oh, we got Josh in the chat saying, hey, what's up, bitches? Hey, Josh, good to see you. And then we got Drew and myself saying hi back to Josh.
Now do I have to do it too? Okay.
No, I wanted you to finish. You were going on your thought. I didn't want to interrupt your thought.
I didn't want to be left out. But yeah, I just with Triple H, and so we all know the Dexter, the indie, because Dexter showed up on NXT.
Well, I do want to talk about that too, because I don't watch NXT 2.0 regularly, even though now
you're amazing. Saying Josh is in the house. We love
now. I feel like I have to at least keep tabs on it because I feel like it's gonna. Triple H has come out and said, you know, or Sean has come out and said that they really want NXT in the main roster to be like a legitimate 1-2 punch. So that makes me feel like.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, I know. And
we got Alex saying the landscape of wrestling is in such a great place right now. We can be excited for every promotion. And that's the thing. Like, and I know I don't want to go on a huge tangent about it, but I did want to bring it up at some point. Like, stop I want to see a WWE squash AEW, and I don't want to see AEW squash. Just be happy that every night of the week there's something good on the programs for somebody, whether you like it or not, but at least you've got options. At least it's not how it used to be where there was one show in town, and if it sucked, it sucked. Now there's wrestling on every night of the week. You can find it, just enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, I think Astrid left NXT. Yes, she did. She stepped away. Much love to Astrid. She was a part of this show many times and did the sidecast with us. We wish her the best. She's gonna go bet on herself and do some things outside of Love Wrestling, and you know she's gonna do good things. So
yeah, and I'm sure we'll figure out, especially if NXT, you know, and they sold me on When Worlds Collide next week. Like, I'm gonna make a point to go see that. But you know, it's one of those things where if NXT becomes more of a, hey, we need to be paying attention to NXT type show, I'm sure on Love Wrestling you'll see some form of us trying to do something with it. But in general, so yeah, Dexter Lumis, who's been coming back to Raw these last couple weeks, he did show up on NXT 2.0. to kind of close the storyline. And I think Roundtable mentioned it earlier. He said with Loomis and put him in a spotlight. Then Loomis shows up at NXT to pay off the storyline
over to Spencer
with
Love.
Index. Yeah. Hey, if you're interested in chatting about some NXT, yeah, let us know. Let us know. We are always looking for new contributors or new voices that want to do some stuff with us, like 1,000%. So hit up Spencer,
or
hit up the Love
us,
Wrestling, or us. Like, let us know. Let us know. That'd be dope. But yeah, he did show up, and the way that they did it, that moment in the ring where they have a hug and they kiss and everyone's flipping out. He carries her out. I thought he was going to carry her right to Raw. That's what I thought was going to happen. I was like, oh, he's just going to take her.
She's on the short list of people that 100%.
I
think should be on the main roster
in
NXT currently.
I
love Indy Hartwell.
Yep.
I've always loved her. I think she's phenomenal, and her personality alone, she should be on the main roster.
Yeah. Oh, Love Wrestling Roundtable Pro for a crossover? Absolutely. I would be 1,000% would want to do that.
Yeah,
so let's hit us up. Let's plan something. Let's do some. I want to do cool shit with my friends,
producer,
guys. Talk some wrestling.
Put our handles on the screen. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just kidding. He's got. But and then he gets carried off. They go back, and you can see the cop lights kind of in the distance outside the doors of the arena.
Well
yeah, and he gives her a note, and they give one last kiss, and he leaves. And then you kind of, as the doors close, you see the cops kind of surround him, and then the camera just does that perfect slow pan where you finally see the note, and he says, "Goodbye for now. I'll love you forever, Dexter." And it was like, God, man, amazing.
So well done.
Oh, it was so well done. And like Roundtable said,
or Pluggo looked at me the way Dexter Loomis looked at Indy Hartwell.
But that whole thing where they had the close up on Indy and you see him pop up behind her on the camera, and then they show both of them looking at each other. Then they crawl in the ring to get, like, it was just so well shot and well done. It was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. And I was on my couch, oh, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. I was emotional. It was amazing. It was amazing. But I want, like I said at the beginning, like eventually I would love to see Candice back. I want Indy to come up. Theory, like if Gargano's first feud is going to be Theory with their history, I am all for that. Regardless of what I think personally about Theory, you cannot deny that the dude is super talented and he's super young if you're watching the show objectively. You might not think he deserves to be in the spot that he is in, which I would agree with you in that, but he's 24 years old, can cut a good promo, has great matches, he has the look. Like the dude has talent. So if you want to tell me,
I always had positive interactions with him. Actually, I met him too a couple.
Yeah, I've met him on a couple of Evolve shows back when he was involved, and he was always a super nice. He was would go up to the fans, have conversations with the fans. Like, you hear these things, and they are what they are, and he should be judged for those if they are true, and it did happen. But at the same time, like in my interactions, he was a super nice guy, and you can't deny the talent if you're looking objectively.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing that I say about Logan Paul. So far, guess what? In the 2 matches that Logan Paul has had, the dude looks like he's built for this shit. It is what it is. Do I think he's a good person? No. Do I want to be rooting for him? No. But if I'm watching wrestling and I want a good wrestling show and he's part of the show, he has proven to me that he's pretty fucking good. He's pretty good. And it is what it is. You got to look at it somewhat objectively at times.
If we're talking about Monday Night Raw, we got to talk about the gentleman that's on that T-shirt that Drew's wearing.
Oh, we do. We do. Because he is my favorite person in WWE main roster, and he has been for years. And in the last 2 weeks, 2 weeks especially, that segment with Drew McIntyre last week.
I'm impressed with Raw. Logan Paul as an attractive wrestler. I think I'd have a great match with him. Hell yeah.
Probably
active wrestler.
Active, not
attractive.
He might be. He very well might be. He may very well might be.
He's not an ugly guy.
That's on me.
He very well
That's
might
on Pluggo's eyesight. No, it does say active, but he's attractive to some people. I wasn't shaming. If Roundtable's attractive, I mean, I'm attracted to Hook. That's a handsome man.
Hook is
Hook is
it's really the
I got a Hook shirt.
It's really the hair. It's just the brooding.
No, you definitely said active.
No, you typed that correctly in your phone. Yeah. It's just that Pluggo can't read. So that's you know, it is what it is.
anything.
We work at it. We work at it. We have tutoring classes
Every
weekly.
week I get a little bit better.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But if we are talking about Raw, they have made Kevin Owens look exactly like the prize fighter. Kevin Owens this past week when he fought Chad Gable. First of all,
what a
excellent match with him and Chad Gable.
Pluggo
incredible.
How awesome you popped so hard for the NXT.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They had the old Titantron, and he came out with the tape,
KO.
the KO. I was like, I hosed me down. I was like, someone pour water on me. I need water. I need a bucket of water thrown on me. I'm hot over here. Like, let me know what's happening. You know,
Kevin Owens is / was, and I'll say was because obviously we're looking forward into the Trips era. He is the king of like taking anything you give him and making it work. So imagine what the man can do when you actually give him something worth sinking his teeth into that is like next level type shit. He's going to take this to the moon, to steal a phrase from Cameron Grimes. Like, my goodness.
My thing is, right? Wait. And this is, and I like the performer of Ezekiel and Elias, especially Elias.
Roundtable love you too.
The only reason, and I will say this, the only reason that Ezekiel storyline even got a hint of over was because of Kevin Owens.
Absolutely.
Kevin Owens was the sole reason why people gave a shit about that storyline. And that just goes into what you said. Like, how many times have they given Owens C+, B- creative, and he's made the segments an A because he's just
I'll be honest with you.
At everything.
I'll be honest with you. People did not like his new Face of America thing.
I liked it.
I liked it too.
Yeah, I was with you.
Didn't mind it at all.
No, I liked the clean shaven. He looked different. Yeah, he wore the suits.
The floor of the entranceway was his face, and he was wearing the suits all the time.
Yeah,
I actually enjoyed that. So there was nothing that he's done that I haven't liked.
I agree, and I think he is a guy that whether he's a heel or whether he's a good guy, that guy to me. And there's a reason why he main evented WrestleMania against Stone Cold Steve Austin, because I think if you gave him a little bit of that edginess, he is the closest thing we've seen to Stone Cold Steve Austin in WWE since Stone Cold Steve Austin. To the point, don't take that out. You know, people are, he's going to be as big as Stone. No, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you look at Kevin Owens and he's an everyman. And you look at Kevin Owens and if what has been the main arc of his whole character the whole time he's been in WWE, NXT and WWE? He's a family dude. Cares about his family above and all. Cares about his friends. He has good morals. You know, you hear the stories. He's a super hard worker. I would not be opposed to KO and Sammy becoming a team and taking the titles off the Usos or doing please God.
I need it.
If you want to tell me that like KO and Sammy become a tag team here and they're like going to be the main team feuding for the titles against the Usos for like the rest of the year. Okay. I'm perfectly okay with that.
I need it.
But I just think Kevin Owens, if you present him in a certain way, like Turnbuckle, our friend Carl says, give KO a little more steam. If you kind of made him that tweener or whatnot, that's a guy that can be the face. Like he could win a heavyweight title for you multiple times and be the most over guy in your company if you let him be.
We've already seen that Triple H wants to do that with him because he's already been Universal Champion.
He has, and Triple H in the storyline is the reason he won that. Yeah. He pedigreed Seth.
Loved that moment.
And literally lifted Owens' hands with the title. When KO couldn't even believe it. He was looking at him like, holy shit, really? Oh, well, I'm doing it. And he just did it. Like Triple H was in character in the story, the guy that gave him the nod. You know what I mean? So, and you've already seen in the 2 weeks, and again, I know we went through the comments, but that segment, that whole thing last week that happened with Drew McIntyre, the promo, and then the match that they had after, that to me was in that moment, I was like, okay, like Kevin, like that was the best segment that I've seen on Raw all year. All year was those two, that promo. And I was like, KO's back. Like that is KO that's the KO I've wanted to see for 5 years.
And they're intertwining for 5 years. All of it together. Like you had Roman on SmackDown mentioning to Sammy, like, tell your boy, I don't know anything.
And then you had Owens on Raw saying, hey, Usos.
You know?
It's perfect. And
Oh.
Sammy is trying to become a member of the bloodline, so it's all weaved in there that Owens can just go to Sammy and be like, dude, why do you want to be part of this group? They treat you like shit, man. They're messing with you, dog. Like, why do you want to be a part of that group? And Owens is like, I've been your best friend your whole life. Like, you need to listen to me. And then Samuel will be like, yeah, but you've also turned your back on me like 9 times. Like, you know, like what, like, you know, and you could play that whole story out for a bit till eventually Sammy realizes it and goes with KO. And then you have the built-in Owens and Zayn versus the Usos for the title. And then, you know, eventually it will lead to a match with, it's all right there for you. And I love the callbacks because one of the early opponents of Roman during the start of this prestigious reign was KO. And they had 3 really good matches that Roman never beat him clean. He always needed help to beat him, or some sort of, you know, they had the thing with the handcuffs on the cage and the thing with the forklift in that like no holds barred match they had there where it didn't work for like 10 minutes and they had to like change the camera view because it was failed.
Or the time he technically won the steel cage match with Braun because he threw.
Yeah, like, you know, it's one of those things where it's just like,
did him dirty.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like Roman got away with all those matches and won very, very shadily to the point where I think, you know, you could play it up that like, hey, I know this was a while ago, but I have a gripe here. And there's a certain, you know, it's very good. It's very good.
And Pluggo knows this, definitely. I'm a big Roman Reigns guy.
Yeah.
He was
as well.
He was on the Wicked Crazy Pinfall where I debuted my douchebag head of the table character. And I am 100% out of this bloodline story thing at this point because it's been so friggin' repetitive for like a year now. And I was kind of, you know, I was still like, okay, yeah, like especially around the Owen stuff. Like, okay, like come on, we got to start getting something else going. You know, all right, so now the Usos are together, and Jimmy wasn't with it at first, and then he was with it. But then it's just been the same thing for like a calendar year. Like their tag titles and their tag team championships and the tag titles have been kind of screwed up whenever they've gotten them, and now both of the main titles are on Roman, and it's so bad to the point that the USA Network is pissed off about it. It's like, okay, we gotta do something different here. So if Drew if he's not the one to take Roman down next Sunday at Clash of the Castle, I think Kevin Owens would be wonderful.
Well, I think they booked themselves into a corner, and that was with all the budget cuts and all the firings and all the mass exodus of all the other talents that didn't want to re-sign and all this stuff, is you didn't heat enough people up, and then Roman mowed down everybody, and it's like, what's left? And then they're like, well, shoot, we'll do this title unification thing because we don't have enough people. And I think Triple H is realizing that, and he's like, let me get some of these people in here, because at least now it's like, okay, Drew seems refreshed. We got Karrion Kross in the mix. They're heating Kevin back up. I eventually think Sammy will get to that level too, because he is that caliber of a talent. They just have to figure out how to get there. That's why I thought SmackDown for a while has been a little bit behind Raw, because they were so hamstrung with the budget cuts that they got to build it back up and get some credible people. But yeah, they need to do something.
You know what's going to happen on SmackDown is Legado del Fantasma is going to be on SmackDown soon, and I think that'll breathe some life into SmackDown because they need some fresh faces on that show. But I just
feel... which, if you need fresh faces in your emojis, you should consider while you're here hitting that subscribe button. Then you get access to our beautiful faces. Plus, if you hit the subscribe button, you will get to be in the chat tomorrow night for LPW7. Here Come the Wrestlers. And that's the only way you can be in the chat. You can watch it for free, but if you want to chat with the likes of me and JPJ here, you got to subscribe. Because in a little bit here, Spencer Love, the boss, has confirmed that he will be here. And if Drew's still here, he probably won't yell at us, which would be nice.
Yes, it is true. Usually he treats us with company as well.
Treats us good with company. But yeah, so in a little bit here, we'll have Spencer Love coming on to talk about LPW7 here on the Wrestlers. But yeah, if you like what you see, some of the new friends and faces we've seen tonight in the chat, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, give us a follow. You know, tell us what you think of Raw, SmackDown. We love the interaction. Keep those comments coming. It's been awesome.
And Drew, I'll ask you. We're gonna do a big, and we'll announce it towards the end of the show. But next week we're gonna have a big pick'em extravaganza here on. There's a lot of wrestling next weekend. We have Clash at the Castle on Saturday. We have Sunday afternoon When Worlds Collide, which they're hyping up to be a big show now. If you did pay attention to NXT 2.0, Sunday night we have All Out. And there's even more wrestling than that. Those are just kind of the three bigger ones of the two main companies.
SmackDown, wrestling, Raw, NXT. Like, there's just wrestling for the next.
It's a lot of wrestling going on.
And like WrestleMania season again.
Yeah, and this sense of optimism in the wrestling world, basically since Vince got the boot, the sense of optimism in the wrestling world, and WWE is clearly performing better, and that makes AEW want to perform better. That makes other companies want to perform better. It's just incredible. And Clash, yes, next week, I am going to be on Josh's show like we do every month for WWE pay-per-views. We are doing the sim of Clash at the Castle on WWE 2K23. 2K22? Is it
22.
What year is it? 2K22. We will be doing that live next week as well. So stay
attention. Don't age it.
No, what? I didn't know.
Don't age the game.
It's the year 2099 right now.
Is that what it is? So those are always fun, and those are fun. Those streams are always a good time. They're always super fun. That shit is wild.
I might just crash that one.
Yeah, do it. But we will be doing that. But there is so much wrestling next week. So I do want your opinion, because I think Drew is going to beat Roman at Clash at the Castle. I'm still leaning
the head of the table, Big Money Drew, is going to beat Roman.
Yeah,
I already got one title. So.
He's got multiple. I see multiple titles back there. But I do. I think Drew McIntyre in that setting, in his home, not his home country, but his home continent over there. And part of the reason why is they've made Drew look. He got rid of the sword. He's cutting good promos. They've built him back up rather quickly to where I look at him every week now and I'm like, yeah, he can be Roman Reigns. He can be Roman Reigns. And I think that's a super good thing. But I think he is going to do it. I might be wrong. Obviously, with the Roman storyline and how long it's gone. But I think Drew is going to be the one that does it. I think they're going to give him that huge pop in front of people. And they've referenced the Brock Lesnar match where he did it in a warehouse in front of no one. And I think this is a moment for him to really get a crowning achievement, breaking this long streak in his home continent in front of a lot of people. I think there's a strong possibility. I'm actually leaning that Drew wins it. Although we have a couple people, Roundtable Pro and Turnbuckle Talk, both saying Drew will win, but it's going to be by DQ. And then Roman will keep the titles. So you never know. I just think,
if not now,
I think exactly that's my thing. If not now, when?
Right.
And Drew is up there at that level. Just give him the titles. Give him the titles. Let Roman do his part-time stuff. You don't need Roman and Rock next year at Mania to have the belts to begin with. That will be the biggest match of the show with a world title on it or not.
Right. I've been saying for a long time that match did not need titles.
No. So there's a way to get there. Drew is more than a formidable choice, and I just think that's where they're going to go.
I think it makes it more interesting, in fact, for Roman to lose the titles before the Usos do.
Oh, I think
that I've always wanted to go the opposite, but no, I dig that because he's always given them shit for taking L's. But that's a good way to stop Drew. We have another guy. We're just blowing this budget. You know how we do it. The boss has arrived.
Yes.
He's here.
He has. Let's get him in here. Spencer Love.
Oh, snap.
And this time I ain't even mad at you guys for spending money.
See, we knew it. We said there's a guest on the show. He's always nice.
You got two good-looking guests
we
on
do.
this show.
We do.
Drew
we lucked out. We lucked out this
me.
evening. It's true. It's true. But you popped in right as we were talking some Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. We just talked about Johnny Gargano and his return on Monday. But usually when you come on these shows, it's usually the night before a pretty big wrestling show that we have here at Love Pro Wrestling. So let's get after it. Let's get after it.
Before he starts, everyone in the chat, tell Spencer how much you love us so we can stay on the air next week.
No, he just said we're safe this week.
Oh, are we safe? Okay, I don't know. I'm just used to getting yelled at.
You got good looking guests. You got a good looking producer.
It's true.
Just a
we
good
got our producer back.
General area we've got going on. And
so how's the setup? How's the setup going tonight, boss man?
Yeah, how is the setup going? You're at the venue right now doing the night before setup.
I'm at the venue right now. It's smooth. We've got great people involved in every aspect of LPW, and like I shit you not, every aspect of LPW. We've got people who are here like by the time our ring truck gets here, ready to unload. It's perfect. It's really perfect. So setup's going great because setup's almost done.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Who's
That's good to know.
We got another beautiful man.
I think we got, was that Goose? Was that Goose back there? Honk, honk.
That was the Goose.
All right.
Yeah,
good to
handsome
see.
devil.
Yeah, good to see. All right, Spencer. So, we've been promoting this. We've been doing match announcements. Last night on Sidecast, we had ads throughout the whole show talking about this event tomorrow night, LPW 7, and out come the wrestlers. Where do you want to start? Because it is, again, it seems like this is becoming a regular occurrence. Top to bottom, this is an all-star card tomorrow night. Again.
Dude, I could start anywhere. And that's really, again, the cool thing. And I come on here every freaking month, and I tell you guys I'm going to say the same shit I said last month.
Hey.
Yes.
Hey,
our girl.
That's right. That's our girl right there. That's our girl right there.
I like that shirt, by the way. I want
yeah,
that shirt.
thank you. Yeah, that's our girl.
The back is amazing as well.
Incredible.
As always,
she is the Love Pro Wrestling Challenge champion. Tara from Accounting. Hi.
She can't hear you still. I've got my.
It's okay. It's okay. You just tell her that we love her.
But I can tell. Oh, I can. I opened Siri. Sorry if you didn't hear me for a second.
How dare you?
We're sorry.
She says that JPJ, you're looking extra handsome today. And Pluggo, where's your fucking shirt?
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. Someone read the assignment. Someone read the assignment.
I got the kitty.
It is a kitty. That is a kitty. So beauty.
I got the kitty.
Say bye for me.
She says bye.
Bye.
Oh, no, I don't think so. They said they love you.
Oh, we do. We do. All right. Well, since that was the LPW Grand Champion, why don't we start there? Why don't we start there? That seems very fitting with TFA going against one Veda Scott. Why don't we talk about that a little bit? Friends of the show.
Friends of Love Pro Wrestling. Mm-hmm. I couldn't be more damn excited. I picked Veda up from the airport about 3 hours ago. They finally made their way to Edmonton for the very first time. And I don't think I need to tell anybody, but I'm going to absolutely sing their praises, is that whether it's wrestling, whether it's commentating, we're very lucky they're doing both, and they're excellent at both. You talk about an asset to a professional wrestling show. Veda Scott's right at the top of that list, as far as I'm concerned. I'm incredibly excited that they're going to be a part of what's a pretty damn cool list of challengers as far as that LPW Challenge Championship goes so far. It's exciting as all hell that they're going to be the next one to step up to one of the only undefeated individual in LPW at this point that's wrestled even more than one match for us. So real excited for that. Very excited on the Twitch end of things to be able to add their voice to what's already, I believe, one of the, if not the premier commentary team in independent wrestling. It's going to be very, very cool. They're a huge asset to that. And then I know you guys can as well as I can, but TFA is just such a fucking wonderful human being. I'm so goddamn proud of what they've been able to accomplish. There's some great stuff coming up on their end of things in the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned as far as it goes on that end. But TFA fucking rocks. There's really no other way to put it. And I'm incredibly excited for what I'm sure is going to be just another statement in front of the Pacific Northwest top wrestlers.
Absolutely. All right, and another match I want to talk about. So if you are a member of our LPW Love Wrestling Patreon, you see a little show every week, every month, the LPW show. And Pluggo and I interviewed a couple of gentlemen, State of Emergency, who made their presence felt at the end of LPW 6 last month. Pluggo, you can take it away if you want, my man. Yeah, do
Normally,
your thing,
these are all super positive, Spencer, and I'm always like, dude, this is crazy. This is a great card. How do you do it? Yay. Do you like playing with fire?
Well, I hired you, didn't I?
Yeah. But I'm like, I might do something goofy on a stream fight.
He does love fireworks, at least.
We've had 2 guests on. Mitch Clark, and you were able to dodge. He was like, I'm bringing just nothing but violence to Love Wrestling and taking it over. And you seem to be able to manage that. But State of Emergency was like, we're coming. And we're taking we're not messing around.
They went right for the top.
They're
right
like,
for the
we're
top.
just gonna take this whole thing down from top down. Like, what are you doing? Like, how you keep it that controlled back there?
Man, like it's a good problem to have, because at the end of the day, professional wrestling is certainly not a non-violent sport, for lack of a better way to put it. I got a lot of room for violence. We brought the Rads in. We've brought submission artists in. We're now bringing in a very different type of chaos and State of Emergency. I don't think, again, that I need to oversell how dominant they've been in the PNW for the last few years, really. But since sort of the calendar turned to 2022, like, you talk about great tag teams, not Canadian, not North American. You talk about great tag teams, and you have to talk about State of Emergency. So, you want to bring in great professional wrestlers. I think we're doing that in that. And I think we're providing one hell of a challenge for the Clandestine Society. Again, MRB has dominated in LPW. Even when the guys put up L's, he's put up incredible matches. And Stephen Crow is frickin' just
right, Drew.
One of the heart and souls of this promotion. There's really no other way to put it there either. So they're incredibly talented athletes. They've both proven themselves already as far as singles action goes. You've got Stephen Crow in handicap matches at this point. You've got MRB in some of the most insane matches I think that not just LPW's ever seen, but friggin' Canadian professional wrestling has seen to this point. And to be able to provide them with an opportunity to go against not just the top tag team in Canada again, but a top tag team period for the first time ever, why not bring it to YEG?
And then UA Line Roundtable, Drew is big money. So Drew is our special guest tonight. You're also a special guest. So Drew, you got any questions, things for the promoter that is Spenny Love here?
I want to know how amazing the Voros twins are.
Oh man, love them.
Hell yeah, I love
the Voros twins. And it's always, it's an odd way to put it, but it's always so cool for me when we are able to have wrestlers like them in that maybe aren't here all the time because of how well they're doing elsewhere, if that makes any sort of sense. We wanted to bring the Voros twins for each and every goddamn show we've ever put on. They're incredible athletes, great people. And I think sometimes, and obviously make hay while the sun shines, but I think sometimes that gets lost a little bit in just how freaking popular and funny they are. Those guys get in a professional wrestling ring and they tear it up every time, right? So, they're some of my favorite people on the planet, Chris and Patrick are. They're wonderful individuals. If you're a promoter and you're watching this for whatever reason, I'll say this about any talent that LPW's brought in at this point, but like, huge shout to the Voros twins, because what great human beings, and what a hell of a match they're in for on, what a match they're in
tomorrow.
For less than 24 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say less than 24 hours from today. That's how close we are.
Time flies when you're throwing watches.
How much money of yours do I have to give them to figure out how they do the dumbbell scenes? How much budget do I got to blow to figure out the secret sauce?
0. We'll go with 0. I think we can go on record with that being the approved budget of 0.
They're just going to tell me?
Maybe. You never know.
Can you ask them for me?
Spencer, I'll ask you. And, obviously there's a whole slew of matches we're going to talk about here. But what might be one of the more, maybe you think, under the radar matches on this card that you think by the end of the show, people are going to be like, wow, that was a match of the night contender there. And I know we have a whole lot of them on this show that could end up that way. But maybe if you're somebody that has been focusing on Love Wrestling, or you're new to Love Wrestling and you see the card, maybe one of the under the radar ones that you think might truly end up being a standout of the evening.
I like that. Hello,
Hi,
Lord.
Lawrence, hello, friend.
Lucas. To be honest with you, and again, like you say, there's not really any one of them where I'm like, oh, this is an underrated match. I think we've gone out and we've put 8 main event matches together. I really do. Whoever you're looking at, whichever match you're looking at on the card, any one of them, I feel very confident in saying could go out and be a banger of a main event for us, for any other promotion, wherever it may be. But it's going to sound like an odd way to put it again, but I think that one of the matches that I'm most looking forward to is that #1 contenders match we've got, because even though we're only going into show 7, guys, like it really encapsulates almost every era of Love Pro Wrestling, if that makes sense. Sean Moore was a part of our first ever show here, or I guess the first ever solo LPW show here in Edmonton. That was in March. After that, he immediately took off. He's been in Mexico ever since. He's been absolutely banging down there, man. So him coming back up to Canada, he's worked for Superkicked recently out in Ontario and toured up there. Like, that guy is, you know, by definition, a world-traveled professional wrestler and earned every bit of it. He hasn't been back here since. Travis Williams, I know I don't need to oversell how important he was to really our first few months of running as a promotion. That guy was insane. That ladder match was insane. Incredible. That 30-minute time limit draw he had with MRB to this day. And again, it's 7 shows, but is still one of my favorite matches I've ever had the opportunity to watch, nonetheless, have happen in our ring. Travis has been essential to what we've done as a promotion to kick off. So I'm excited as heck for that, because he hasn't been back in a couple of months. I'm incredibly excited after last month, because I was excited going in.
That's where I was going to go. Turnbuckle talk, Carl.
And we'll talk about that one after too.
We'll do that one next.
That's a good one.
To get to see Jack Pride and Son of Irish go out there in a very different format, sort of re-engage what they were able to do last month. Holy shit. Because they tore it up last month.
Incredible match they had. That ending spot in that match with the shooting star into the code breaker was unbelievable. That's one of the best finishes you'll see in all of wrestling this year. All of wrestling.
I'll send you a link, because obviously we got the different camera angles and all that sort of stuff. And there's one where you can just pick up in the back of it. Like, I usually sit, if you ever watch where we come up the stairs for that gorilla position we've got, I'll usually, if I've got the opportunity, I'm not running around, like that's where I'll sit and watch the show. And I will frickin' send you it again. But you can quite literally hear me on one of the camera angles in the back when that finish happened. Just, oh shit!
Yeah.
Not to cut you off there, but Drew, you said you had to get out of here. You had some stuff coming up.
No worries, my friend.
Well, we just wanted to say we appreciate you coming on, especially with such short notice. And the door is always open, my friend.
Yeah, you are welcome anytime, my friend.
Thank you for making Love Wrestling a little more handsome.
It's true. It's true, but you know, man, you're welcome anytime. You just shoot us a message. You let us know when you want to chat.
But before you get out of here, if you want to plug your shit so everybody knows where they can find you.
I am at Big Money Drew on Twitter, and I have, I'm on Fightful. I've done some stuff for them. I'm in the chats. I mod. Don't be an asshole. I will ban you. And Benny, I love you. So happy to be on screen with you. And thank you, Pluggo. Thank you, JPJ. This was wonderful. I enjoyed this so much, and I definitely will be back.
Absolutely. We hope you will be. All right. Have a good rest of your night, my friend. Like I said, open door. You're always welcome.
Thank you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. All right.
Now you
what a wonderful human being Drew is.
I love
let's just put over great human beings in professional wrestling.
Yes.
That was the first time I've ever met Drew face to face. But man, I've always loved chatting with him on Twitter. Good human being.
He's a great person. And I was happy that he was able to come on and spend some time with us.
It was last minute. We were chatting in another chat, and he was itching to talk. I said, "Come on, man, we got to have you on. We'll just talk because this week has been crazy, and LPW7 is." Yeah.
So, speaking of this fatal four-way, before we move on to a few more of the matches that we have tomorrow night, I spoke with Son of Irish during the LPW show for last month, and he's really been showing out to the point where, he's super young. He's super, he's very, very young. He's, his tag is the future of professional wrestling. I think he's kind of the current of professional wrestling, but the future. And he's been having banger matches every match that we've had him on Love Pro Wrestling, but he's always come up just a short right at the end. And we talked about it during that interview. So definitely go back and check that out. It's on our YouTube now. Go back and check that out. It would be quite the time for him to pick up his first signature victory in LPW tomorrow night, wouldn't it? When that in that number one contendership match,
man. And like, to be quite blunt with it, like there are many times that wins and losses are the be all end all. Whether you're talking about sports, whether you're talking about entertainment, or the combination that we love to call professional wrestling. But man, there's exceptions to every rule, and people need to earn opportunities, and people need to go above and beyond. And if you're talking about individuals that have gone above and beyond, people who've delivered on every opportunity, yeah, maybe you're not able to pick up the 1, 2, 3 on occasion. But like, if you talk about individuals that are the heart and soul of Love Pro Wrestling, and you don't bring up Son of Irish, I got a lot of love for people. I will never insult an opinion, but I will tell you your opinion's wrong, and your opinion is wrong if you don't put Son of Irish in that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I am very excited. One of the things that's made me most proud about LPW as a whole is every show, after every show, when people are commenting on YouTube, there are always professional wrestlers hopping in there, and they're like, holy shit, I would like to work Son of Irish. I think he's great. I think he's awesome. And the fact that that guy is earning, and you can say it again about pretty well everybody on our roster, but the fact that that kid who, like you say, is fucking 18 years old, has been working his ass off for the last 8, 10, 12 years as far as it goes in professional wrestling and delivering every single time. Nothing makes me more proud than seeing those guys go out there and not just get opportunities, but earn opportunities. So, yeah, maybe he is the individual in this match that hasn't got the ideal win-loss record. Maybe he is the one where you look at it and say, well, these other guys are way above 500, to use the sports speak for it. But like, if you don't think that Son of Irish has earned this opportunity, love you, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
You could go the same route with on the women's side of things with like a Zoe Sager. You know, maybe her win-loss record isn't as pristine, but you just see something in them, like you said with Son of Irish, where you keep giving them opportunities. Now, as a promoter and as a person booking the shows and stuff, that, like you said, it's more than just the wins losses at Love Wrestling. Yes, those matter ultimately at the end of the day.
Yep.
But you're putting Zoe Sager in another big spot with a Gigi Ray. And is it like a, hey, go out there, sink or swim? Because like she said, she's like, I know my record's not there, but I feel like it's gonna happen. So how do you balance that? Like, wins, losses matter, but hey, I see something special in a Zoe Sager where I want to keep giving her that opportunity.
There is nothing, I think, in professional wrestling that people need more, as odd as this will sound to say, than a chip on their shoulder. People who go out there, once, I'm a firm believer in anything, but especially when you're in something that's got a lot of competition, once you get complacent, you're going to go backwards. You're never going to stay on that steady level. You will. You talk about people that are hungry. You talk about people that have that chip on their shoulder right now. Zoe Sager's the definition. And it's incredible for me. Again, I talk about Son of Irish earlier. You guys make the comparison, but like, man, it's so damn cool for me. You go and watch her wrestle in NEW. You wrestle for Wrestling Court. You wrestle for everywhere you possibly can. You're getting articles, features on you in Slam Wrestling, the biggest magazine we got in Canada as far as it got for professional wrestling specific news. And man, like, to have her come in, to have her go against someone that realistically, again, she's gone head to head with a ton. She knows intrinsically well. She has won championships against, lost championships against, had the best matches of her career against, in my opinion. And that's a friggin' high standard as far as it goes for Zoe when you look at her recent matches, even just for LPW. Yeah, you know what? Sometimes you have to give that opportunity. When somebody comes in and says, I fucking want this, I can deliver in this. There's nothing I love more than being proven wrong. When I tell someone, okay, you want this, prove you can, and they go out and frickin' do.
Yep.
Right? Zoe's delivered every time. As far as Gigi goes, man, like, again, it's just such a perfect homecoming. I hope, because we're obviously 24 hours or more from show day.
Yeah.
But for me, man, I am incredibly, incredibly proud of everybody that we're able to bring in for this show. But when it comes to Gigi specifically, there's so much history as far as the Alberta wrestling scene goes. She's someone that I personally have a lot of love for as a human being. I was lucky enough to do her first ever interview ever anywhere. You can find that on Love Wrestling. But like, you can find the two of them. But as far as it goes with Gigi Ray, no one don't. I am so very excited that yes, she's been back before, and yes, I hope she will be back again, whether it's for us or anywhere else, because man, she's such a friggin' wonderful human, such a friggin' great professional wrestler. But for this, after starting to blow up with AEW, after wrestling for Mission Pro, after wrestling for Reality, everywhere in between, she challenged for the NWA Women's Championship less than a month ago, and now she's coming home. She's wrestling for Love Pro Wrestling. I am so damn excited. This venue is the closest she has ever wrestled to. I'm just going to keep doing that. I'm not saying no one.
I love it. I love it.
This is the closest she's ever had the opportunity, and because of that, we get to just have a really, really cool main event for our show tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's incredible. And, before we start doing the rundown of all the other matches we haven't mentioned, Turnbuckle Talk did mention this match in Pluggo. You can take it away if you want, because I know you said you were super excited about this too.
We had talked when you had asked the question about what match could maybe steal
like under the radar.
This for me would be up there in the contenders, because I think Michael Allen, Richard Clark, that name is so long to say and I'll stumble over. I think he is phenomenal. I just when he's on a screen, I just stop and I'm like, that dude looks like he gets it. Yeah. And then I watch and he does.
We just talk about chips on shoulders. I don't know who's coming in with a bigger one for this one. Is it Michael Allen, Richard Clark, who in his first ever match against Adam Ryder gets an opportunity at one of the most prestigious champions?
Well, he's muted. He's muted.
He's muted. Okay. But I was going to say, while he figures it out,
Adam
Ryder is coming into the promotion. So
I know. I'm just trying to get my headphone working again. I don't know where it went, so we
just can't have dead air spinning.
No, I'm just going to vamp. This is what they call the technical time.
Oh, we have that with me all the time.
No. Can you hear me still now? Did I vamp well enough?
Yeah, excellent. You're good, man.
So you look at Michael Allen, Richard Clark, who's challenged or was slated, to challenge for one of the most prestigious championships in Canadian North American pro wrestling, and losing that opportunity? Or is Adam Ryder coming in more upset because he lost his championship? He was the first ever title holder in WrestleCore. He lost it to an individual that wrestles for us. Who's coming in like more willing, more wanting to prove something? It's a cool opportunity to say, I don't know who, and I think that's going to line up for some freaking magic tomorrow.
Yeah, I am very much looking at that. And the last match I want to talk about a little bit, at least on my end, is, we have one Chris Parrish, part of Love Wrestling. He is coming back and wrestling tomorrow against Bobby Sharp, who's been a friend of the show, been a guest of the show.
They've both been on the show.
They've both been on the show.
It makes it hard for us when we have.
So we're in the middle here because I don't want to pick one over the other. But
we're gonna have to
talk a little bit about this match. Talk about what you're expecting as not only the promoter of the show, but as a fan of wrestling, what you're expecting from these two guys and what you think we're going to see in the ring when it comes to our friend of the show, Bobby Sharp, and Chris Parrish, our friend of Love Wrestling, our co-worker, Chris Parrish.
I am incredibly excited for this one. Bobby actually tweeted it out pretty perfectly the other day, yesterday even, I think. These guys are quite literally two individuals who I don't think you're going to find two people in Albertan pro wrestling more closely tied together. Like Parrish was quite literally a groomsman at Bobby's wedding. They've known each other.
I did not know that. That's incredible.
They've known each other since they were 12, 14 years old. They've wrestled against each other. They've been bitter rivals. They've wrestled as part of teams together. They've aligned together. They've quite literally, if you talk about people who've checked every proverbial box as far as what you can accomplish in Albertan pro wrestling, they've done it. They've won heavyweight championships. They've done everything here, and they've done it together, and they've done it hating each other. For this opportunity to come about, for not only, like, you guys said it perfectly, Parrish is a friend. Parrish is someone that, again, I mentioned to the Voros twins earlier, is someone that, like, you talk about someone who you got an open spot, we'll find a way to make it happen. Parrish is that guy. I've got nothing but love for Chris. And Bobby, I am incredibly, incredibly proud that I have gotten the opportunity to not only have him in the ring here, but get to pick his brain and get to learn from a guy who really is, as far as Canadian pro wrestling goes. And it's really not a word I use lightly. I make that joke often, but it's really not a word I use lightly when I say that someone is like a legend around here. And Bobby Sharp is certainly one of the guys in Albertan professional wrestling that even before I got as ingrained with the scene as I am, I knew who he was. I was excited every time Bobby Sharp match was announced. You know what I mean? I'm incredibly, incredibly honored that we get to have this match here because it's something that has a lot of history, but I think is going to be a very different match than people have ever seen out of those two before, with Bobby just coming back. Bobby's coming off major, major surgery. I know I'm repeating stuff to you, obviously, but coming off of that, Parrish coming back for the first time in a couple of months. I know you guys watched the Archer report after his last match here when he challenged TFA. And, you know, he's coming in with a very different mentality. That guy is an incredible professional wrestler. I know that. You knew that. He knows that. But after taking a loss for the championship that, frankly, he made before TFA made, if that makes any sort of sense.
Yeah.
You know, losing out on that and having to sort of refocus and revise what you need to do in pro wrestling. Again, it's going to be the theme.
And a win over Bobby Sharp will do that.
And Bobby Sharp, again, I talked about Taryn earlier, is our only undefeated professional wrestler to this point with more than 2 matches. Bobby wins tomorrow. He's the second person to be added to that list, right? The guy's undefeated in his 2. I feel like 2 matches should be that cutoff. You get those people who come in for their couple shows. Yeah. Not to say Bobby isn't a major, major part of this roster, but, you know, he's never lost in an LPW ring. And I know, I just knowing Parrish, I know he knows that. And I know he wants to change that.
Speaking of, so undefeated, and you talked about Taryn. So as we've done this and we've started to grow and build these relationships within these LPW talents, you keep booking these matches that make it incredibly hard for us to like pick a side because we love Taryn.
That's my job,
Taryn
Pluggo.
is our girl. She's co-hosted Beard. She put a beard on for us. But Veda Scott.
That is your bearded wrestler of the day. Put some respect on that.
That's right.
It is.
She earned that. She should be our bearded wrestler of the day every day. But you bring in a Veda Scott who's going to pull double duty. She's going to be on commentary and wrestle. And it's like, we love Veda, like you said, friend of Love Wrestling. And it's like, what do I do? How do I guess as a fan, I get to be excited for a great wrestling match. But how do you ultimately decide where to go with these matches? Because they're all so tough to pick. How do you do it?
That's frankly, that's my job. And to be honest with you guys, like it means a lot hearing that, because as a promoter, you want to have matches that people want to see. Like that sounds like freaking Zoe 101 shit for you guys, but like your job as a promoter is to build towards matches and frankly through the matches that people earn. It's not like we'd be saying you get, you know, you're not going to wrestle John Moxley if you're a scrub, you know, to make the AEW
Pluggo in your grand championship match.
That's a way better example. We're not putting Pluggo in our grand, but you know,
I'm not taking on MRB.
Hey, when we've got the opportunity to bring someone in like a Veda Scott, who is obviously a very accomplished professional wrestler, has won championships wherever they've gone, was the longest reigning IWS women's champion of all time, you know, the same way that TFA to this day is our longest reigning champion we've ever had in Love Pro Wrestling. There are those cool little comparisons and little storyline developments that are just obviously there. So if you got this stuff that's sort of handed to you, well, you've got the opportunity to have 2 longest reigning champs in one ring. Well, why wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
Right? So yeah, there's thought that goes into it. Excuse me as I hiccup. There we go. There's thought that goes into it. There are definitely some much more fortunate opportunities, I guess, that we come into with stuff like that.
But it sounds like easy decisions. You're like, book it. And I love that.
I feel like that's I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you.
Hey, dude, don't worry about it. It's one of those things where, again, like if we're talking about Son of Irish earlier about earning all of his opportunities as someone with, again, maybe some more losses than he would like on his record, how can you not turn to our challenge champion, who is 6-0 in Love Pro Wrestling to this point, has defeated 11 people. Oh shit, not even that. 14 people for that championship. She won it in a battle royal. She's defeated 4 of the top professional wrestlers, 5 of the top professional wrestlers potentially in not only Canada but North America for that title. How can you not, frankly, turn to her and just be like, well, they challenged you and they're really good. You want it?
Yeah.
Taryn's taking everybody on. Taryn's not only taking everybody on, but friggin' smiled doing it. And again, I can't use any other word but just say how fucking proud I am.
Yeah, she's the best. We say it every week, but we love Taryn. She's
awesome.
She's one of the OGs forever. So I know we should. So
consider like I love TFA, basically like a sponsorship line we've got to throw in there.
If she's down, she is down, Taryn from accounting can have a weekly segment on Between
without
Two
question.
Beers,
If she was down, we would give her a weekly segment in a heartbeat.
We'll make
in a heartbeat.
But before we get you out of here and get down to the match,
say,
I had one more question about the state of emergency. We kind of glossed over it at the beginning. State of emergency is coming in. They're coming after MRB, Michael Rich Blaze, the grand champion. It feels very Love Wrestling, outsiders coming in. Like, what do the fans of maybe don't know that these talents expect to see? Because it's going to be a Stephen Crow MRB versus State of Emergency. I have a feeling you're going to have trouble keeping the rec room in one piece. So what are we seeing? I can't wait to see this.
To quote a guy, to stutter over that one, that we all know fairly well in Mitch Clark, pure, unadulterated violence. That is the expectation, because I know in, watching the State of Emergency, and I know from just dealing with MRB, dealing with Stephen Crow, when they want to come out and they want to prove they're the biggest, baddest, and best, they go above and beyond to friggin' do it. So what am I expecting from it? I am honestly, and this can probably be a blanket statement for the 8 matches we've got organized. I expect these guys to want to go out. I expect them to want to not only put on a match of a night for LPW, but I expect that they're going to want to go out there and say, like, we want to prove something to the fucking world on what Canadian professional wrestling can do. And I think they've each respectively done that already in their own rights. But I think they want to just continue and continue and continue. And I frickin' bet your bottom dollar, boys, that they're going to.
And is that the professional side of you going, you know what? I know that these guys are coming in and basically calling out my promotion, my top talent, but I want to see what they can do because it's just freaking awesome.
Here's the thing: is like it's as a promoter, it's a win-win. If people are calling out the best of the best that Love Pro Wrestling has to offer, and the Love Pro Wrestling guys, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, win. Cool. We've proven why we believe we're one of these standard bearers. I have no other way to put it. Why we believe we're one of the standard bearers in Canadian wrestling now. And if State of Emergency does it, then honestly, selfishly, that hopefully means we get to have them come back again because someone will call them out from that point. Or, like, you guys have seen what MRB can do with the chip on his shoulder. You watched him dive off that freaking ladder. You've seen what Stephen Crow's done the entire time with the chip on his shoulder. And those guys coming in after a loss to what I think both of these teams are going into with a lot of emotion with, rightfully so. I really, really, I would be excited either way for where this would go.
All right, good to know.
Because if MRB and Stephen Crow were to lose to the top tag team in a lot of people's opinions in the Pacific Northwest, well, are they going to either go back and go harder at those guys, or are they going to aim higher? And that's not to say that State of Emergency isn't about the highest team that you can find out here, but I also know, speaking for a lot of promotions and a lot of professional wrestling fans out here in the PNW, there are a lot of great tag teams. So you can potentially see where that one goes too, right? Win-win, man. Found money.
I love it.
We got great wrestlers calling out great wrestlers.
Before we have you pull an Excalibur and go through the card, this gentleman has said he would like to challenge
Alex. Get off!
That's great.
Get out of here, Alex.
What are you doing?
Get out.
Welcome back,
He
Alex.
did say in the private chat that he wants to challenge TFA.
That's
That is
fine,
true.
But he can do that in the private chat.
There we go.
The only time I break it. Alex, real happy you're back, man.
Absolutely. We're very happy to have
Stay
Alex
off the
back
screen.
tonight. Yeah, now don't come on this fucking show again, all right?
Play the clip so he can run through this match card because he's got some work.
But yeah,
to
he's
do.
a busy man. Let's have Spencer run through the rest of the card. I know we talked about
Tell
most of
you
the
where
matches.
you can find.
But yeah, talk about the
and
rest of the
everything.
card. Tell the people how they can watch the show and how they can potentially chat with Pluggo, myself, and other Love Wrestling people throughout the show. Run through the thing. Do the thing you do best. Like he said, Excalibur, like you flying through the. I got to learn how to do it at some point.
Friends, family, wrestling fans, there is no better day for Canadian professional wrestling this week than you are going to find tomorrow night out of the Rec Room, South Edmonton. Of course, at 7 p.m. sharp, we are going to be kicking off LPW7 and out come the wrestlers, featuring 8 matches featuring the best of the best in Canadian wrestling. You've got Taryn from Accounting taking on Veda Scott, who then is going to be moving over to the commentary booth to take on 7 more matches of, again, the best of the best above the 49th parallel. We've got the Rads taking on the Sheik himself and Bharat Gorani. Hopefully he doesn't yell at me. He's sitting over here, and he yells at me all the time if I pronounce his name wrong, but he's laughing this time.
Well,
so
he said he just said something in the chat. He said if you look straight ahead and slightly to the left, there's a really good-looking fella sitting down. So he just said something.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
You got some muscles coming up from behind there.
Is that the grand champion?
Is that the GOAT?
That is the grand champion.
Oh, that's the grand champion himself. Friend of the show.
Hey, buddy.
Friend of the show, Michael Richard Blaze.
Oh, that's right.
And you're going to watch him kick some ass against one of the other best tag teams in professional wrestling today. Not Canadian, not North American, in professional wrestling today. The Clandestine Society taking on State of Emergency for the first time ever. Hopefully not the last time, but my God, if it's the only time, you better tune in. We've got a main event featuring 2 of the most incredible professional wrestlers that you're going to find in North America. Gigi Ray returning home, taking on Zoe Sager. I am incredibly excited for that one. I am incredibly excited for what was formerly a WrestleCourt Infinity Championship match between Michael Allen, Richard Clark, and Adam Ryder, the Haida Heartthrob. Man, I cannot tell you how pumped I am for tomorrow. I've said it every show. I've said it again, and I will 6 months ago when I hop back on the show. I don't think I've ever been more excited for an LPW event. This is our biggest card yet. Between all of us and the internet, this is our highest pre-sale we've had yet. We are incredibly close to selling out on pre-sales alone for the first time ever. We've sold out before, but those are with walk-ups. Let's hope to sell this one out prior so that all of you guys can tune in on Twitch, where you're already watching on twitch.tv/LoveWrestlingCA, and you can listen into the audible chocolate of Big Bad Boris, Thaddeus Archer III, Warren Diesel Barris, and Beta Great Scott. I'm coining that. I guarantee I will. I was watching Back to the Future this weekend too.
Oh, beautiful.
Right. Yeah, I truly, guys, I can't tell you how pumped I am, how much it means to me that we are able to bring the best of the best in professional wrestling to the home of professional wrestling in Edmonton, Alberta, the premier venue featuring premier professional wrestling at the Rec Room South Common. Shit, I'm honored, man. I'm humbled. I am blessed. I am every cliche that you see on every Instagram post potentially out there. I'm that right now. It means a lot that
hey, it's okay to be a broken record, man. It's okay to be a broken record if it's a good thing.
Hey, man, you know what? The nice thing is I am a broken record about incredible things in professional wrestling. It ain't like I'm a broken record about, and here's why we canceled the show this month. It's a broken record about how great Canadian professional wrestling can be. And we're not the only ones doing it. I've mentioned a couple promotions, and I'm sure there's a million more I could.
Yes, we are, Hab Guy. We are based out of Edmonton. We are in the Rec Room at the end of every month through the end of next year, with the exception of a few months. And I think December?
We
only December, right? For Christmas.
And to be honest with you, we would, but I don't know if you guys are like me, but if we're running the last Friday of every month, we would fall between Christmas and New Year's. And I know between Christmas and New Year's,
I am not in the shape to be in a chat. I am not in the shape to be in a chat. Yeah, no. I don't know how good I will be in that chat if it's between that week.
Coherent.
So,
like,
well, you go. You got Hab Guy said he just had a buddy move out to Edmonton, also a big wrestling fan, so he's going to have to let him know. Yeah. Tell him to get on the train.
Hey, Hab Guy, if they just moved to Edmonton and they're available tomorrow, send me a DM at that nice little handle you see there. Send me a DM if they would like to come out to the show tomorrow. We'll have a ticket at the door for them. Please feel free to let me know on that, because anybody that wants to come and take a chance on a new professional wrestling promotion, I am happy to have them take a chance on us, because I think we're pretty neat, you guys, and I really love when new people come and check us out. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so if you would like to have Guy hop in my DMs on Twitter, we would love to have them out. Tickets are limited, so let me know tonight if you can, but we would love to have them out. And anyone who's watching, frankly, I'm incredibly proud of the product that we put out here for Love Pro Wrestling. So if you're not a fan, if you're not nervous, but you're considering, but maybe 50-50, sitting on the fence about coming out to a pro wrestling show, please let me know. This is my favorite thing in the world. I love pro wrestling more than some people love their parents, and I am so hopeful
Wrestling
that
over
come and check our
babies,
shows
man.
out, get to see what professional wrestling can be when it's provided by the best of the best. And honestly, I really feel that we are becoming, if not already, one of those standard bearers in Canadian wrestling.
Absolutely.
And not because of me, because of each and every goddamn individual that's chosen to surround me, for lack of a better way to put it.
We are making waves, and it is still only the beginning. Tomorrow night, LPW7, out come the wrestler. Spencer, as always, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Glad that we've kind of made this tradition of you hopping in the night before all these big events to kind of talk some great independent Canadian wrestling with us and all the special things that we're building here at LPW. So we want to thank you. It's always good to see your face, especially the times you're not yelling at us. So, or yelling at Pluggo, I should say.
I was going to say, this is a scheduled one. So I'm
yeah, this is a scheduled one. So
it's all in a couple of times. And those are less pleasant.
Those are the scary.
Other than when I'm producing, those are really pleasant.
He still lets me come back though, so I must be doing something right.
Yeah,
friends, I love you, but I also know we've got MLW coming up, and to be honest with you, this is your show. This is the return of Alex. So, friends, lots of love. Since we're coming near the end, you guys close it out like you can. I'll see you later.
Spencer,
love you guys.
Good to see you. We will chat real soon. Thanks for hopping on, my friend.
See you, friend.
Later. All right, so that's about. We got Alex here.
Alex, welcome back. I know you're a little rusty, but you do know, my friend, and I noticed this a second ago. You do know we have this, right? This beautiful, amazing graphic.
I do know, but why have a graphic tell you when we can have the man himself, Spending Love, tell you?
And did we?
Sure.
That's true.
Just saying.
That's true. We have Zach in the comments saying the Wordsmith's bachelor party. So first of all, the Wordsmith is getting married. He has said this on the show, but they're out having a night on the town.
He popped
having
in
a bachelor
for like
party evening.
Second.
And they popped in the back, but I think they heard Spencer kind of running through the promo of the event, and they were like,
"Come back!
We're gonna let the boss kind of do his thing." And
but we are super stoked you're back. We love you, Boyd.
Oh, I think you meant boys. I think he was gonna say boys. They're on a bachelor party, guys. I'm surprised he can even type.
I mean,
if I'm being real, if that was me, I would be in no shape. If I'm at my friend's bachelor, I would be in no shape.
Boys, you guys.
He says boys as in you guys. But thanks for hopping in. We love you both and the Wordsmith. Congrats to the Wordsmith and his bachelor party. But Alex, we wanted to have you hop on at the end of the show. We're glad that you were back.
Thank you.
Even though you put yourself. You put yourself in our opening.
If nobody else is going to put me over, man, I got to do it myself.
You put yourself in the opening video, trying to get over.
Over Thunder
trying to get over on our damn coattails.
He booked himself over Thunder Rosa in our opening.
I mean, if you think the opener
took out Thunder Rosa.
No, I put Sue in there because Sue needs some love as well.
Yeah, awesome. He was like, you know what, Thunder Rosa, she can't play hurt, so I'm taking her out and I'm putting myself in there.
No. I just I want to be more of a personality on this, man.
We're glad you're back. We couldn't do it without you. We were lost puppies the month you were gone. We had to make things happen that we're not used to. So welcome back.
Thank you.
Get back to work.
So we wanted to get you on to at least formally say that we're real glad you're coming back. You do a lot for us here, so we appreciate you a lot. Now get the fuck off my screen.
Okay.
Damn. Hashtag no justice for Alex. Anyway.
All right. Sorry about that, guys.
But we love Alex. He's back, but we're going to run through our sponsors and we're going to get out of here because like Spencer said, and like we've said a bunch of times already tonight, Bobby Munson, Papa Smokes coming up right after this beautiful program ends. I'm gonna shout him out one more time. Big shout out to Big Money Drew Nicolas for coming on, hanging out.
Absolutely, that was a good time.
Show. Welcome back anytime, my friend. Spenny Love, he came out talking some LPW7. Here come the rest of tomorrow. But now let's pay these bills, plug our stuff, and get on with it.
So first and foremost, we want to thank RK Athletics. You've seen them in the corner down all night. You can follow them at RK Athletics 1 on all social medias. Rich King, not only is he a great professional wrestler, he is an even better human being.
And he'll be at LPW7.
Yep. And if you're looking for personal training, just looking to get a little bit healthier, whether it's nutritionally, working out, even if you don't live in the Edmonton area, you can virtually have things sent to you, workout plans, all sorts of stuff. So if you're just looking to get, get a couple workouts in, get physically better, want to get a little bit better physically in your life, the group to see is RK Athletics. And again, you can follow them, as you can see right below me here, at RK Athletics 1. We also want to thank our sponsors, Manscaped. You can go to manscaped.com. You put that promo code in, Love Wrestling, and you can get 20% off, as well as free shipping. And where's that shipping go, Pluggo?
Worldwide. Baby.
Anywhere. You can live in friggin' Antarctica, and you will get your
lawnmower
lawnmower 4.0 because it is free shipping everywhere. Use that promo code, Love Wrestling. Tell them we sent you. Tell them you love us. Protect your balls. They have things for ladies and things that are not ball related either. Yeah. But that's what they were built on. They save balls. Treat your balls nice.
I'm rocking the crop preserver right now because as content creators and podcasters know, you can't be running ACs and fans while you're streaming because it's too loud. So it gets a little sweaty down here. So I make sure I got that ball deodorant going so I ain't sweating through my shorts.
He ain't lying.
Got to keep my partner happy.
Yeah, and Hab Guy, not a bad point. Not a bad point at all. I understand that. Not a bad point. It's cold in them pots. It is cold in them pots.
But if you did,
Manscaped.com, promo code Love Wrestling would get you that free shipping and 20% off.
Too to keep you
so
fresh
go there,
the day.
do the thing. Tell them that Love Wrestling. Tell them that the Beard sent you. Let them know you're giving us a little bit of love. On that note, it's a little bit after 10. We ran a couple minutes late, but we had a barn burner of a show. So Pluggo, let the people know where they can find you, where they can find Between Two Beards, and let's make our way out of here so the MLW boys can do what they do best.
Well, also too, before we get out of here, too, we also need to mention you can find me Pluggo on all social medias. Just look for my face, you'll find it. But we also this Sunday, our NFL draft, Between Two Beards, first ever fantasy football draft this Sunday. We are looking into streaming it. Just stay tuned to our socials at B2Beards for more details. We're trying to figure out a way to pull off a stream where we stream the draft, maybe have some people on, talk some trash, talk some football, maybe some wrestling, because wrestling's been so good. So yeah, stay tuned to our socials at B2Beards on all social medias, at Pluggo. That would be me. But if you want, it'll be everywhere. That's where we're going to be. We're going to be doing some things.
Yeah. You can follow me at Joseph_Poulin Jr. You can see that in the parentheses next to my name right there. Go give me a follow on Twitch if you haven't already. I'm not begging you, but I'm asking you. If you could go give me some love. I'm so close to affiliate status. I just need a couple more follows. So if you would be so kind, I would be forever grateful. But yeah, we play a lot of video games over there. Have a good time. But Pluggo said you can find us at B2Beards on all social medias for all upcoming announcements and things like that. Give us each a follow too. But you know the drill. We'll be having some news about AEW coverage and AES. And if, we're kind of trying to figure that out with the changes that have happened here over the last couple of days. So we'll be sharing all of our stuff on social media. So give us a follow. Stay tuned. We got, I know we've been saying it for a few weeks now. We still can't announce some things, but we got some bigger stuff coming up here real soon that Pluggo and I are both very, very excited about. Go give a follow to twitch.tv/PopCouture as well. We are on there almost every Monday for Pop the Crowd, just going through the week of wrestling as well over there with our buddy Mike Fish. So go give them some love as well. But most importantly, tomorrow night, LPW7, be here on this channel. You'll be able to watch for free, but if you subscribe, not only will you get those cool emojis, those emotes, but you will get to be in the chat, chatting with Pluggo, myself, and all other Love Wrestling personalities that'll be in the chat. It's always a good time, and it's always a great show of wrestling. But for Alex in his triumphant return, for Pluggo, I am JPJ. You know where to find us next week for our Between Two Beards Pick'em extravaganza next week. Pick'em extravaganza. We already have a special guest booked. We will announce them shortly. But until Turnbuckle Talk, Carl, we love you, buddy. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a
get
supporter.
Carl back on this
We
show.
do got to get Carl back on this show too.
Miss him.
For Pluggo, for Alex, I'm JPJ. And until next Thursday, peace out.